I couldn't have wished for a more idyllic childhood. We spent our lives literally on the water, swimming in the water, sailing on the water, motoring around the harbour. And that led you to familiarity with fishermen. So fish was always in the background. I was 20, I just started living in sin with my to-be first wife, and I thought I better get a proper job. And I got a proper job. God, I hate it. So I ran away from it, and I ran into this. I've been smoking salmon here in this location for just over 42 years. First batch of fish was 4 fish. Salted it, washed the salt off, and we hung it up in on tenter bars and introduced smoke into a given space. This is the way my mind processed it. Right? So we lit the fire and fed the chips into a hole in the wall where my firebox was, and that created smoke. And I simply sat there and put the chips in by hand for as long as it took, which was generally about 12, 13 hours. But I distinctly remember all these years later what the texture on those fish was like when I took them out. And to this day, I still look for that texture. Little touches were made along the way, but basically it's still exactly the same process, but on a larger scale. You're going to have some. No, not when you're having that. Here, open mouth.
Oh, wow.
There are so few artisan producers, really, authentic artisan producers, and he was producing food that you couldn't and you can't find anywhere else. I'm Caroline. I'm a partner in the business, and I'm married to Frank. I came with my Northern Protestant ways and applied my organisational skills to the company, and it made it so that we could grow it, because he had a very successful, innovative idea and business that had worked up to a certain point, but in order to make it a very significant business, then it had to have the organisational structure behind it.
It's the exact opposite of me. So she brings professionalism, and we balance each other out in the most positive way.
We're producing this very luxurious product, but you don't want to leave behind people who potentially can't afford that product. So that's why we've always created food that perhaps uses a product as an ingredient in it, but that is at a price point that they can afford.
Shouting and shooting, I can't let them catch me. I have to make it to Rose's back door. Something's dreadfully wrong, for I feel deep burning pain in my side.
Markets have become like a consultancy. You know, they go and talk to Frank about their worries, or simply to chat and have a conversation, because it's so rare and that's such a luxury these days.
I would have to say that what gives me the greatest satisfaction is the relationship with the people who work with us, people who support us, people who every week come to markets to purchase and enjoy what we make, and tell us how much they do enjoy making. That buzz, that feedback is huge. To have achieved that, and to consistently achieve that.
It was a fine and a pleasant day. Out of Yarmouth Harbour I was faring.
We are creating, as you can see, a private dining space for approximately 14 people.
It's literally going to be a dedicated tasting room for people who want to come and enjoy what we make.
A kind of new era that I don't think Frank would have managed on his own, that will really reflect what we do here and let us celebrate what Frank has done and I have done for the last 40 years.
Take your turn on deck with the other fellas while you're following the shoals.
We're on an island. We're on an island here. We were on the southern aspect of the island this morning, looking at the town of Cobh. We're now on the northern aspect of the island. There's a bridge between this island and the mainland. I got as far as the bridge. I never got over it. I don't want to go over it.
Sailed 1,000,000 miles, caught 10 million fishes. We were far